There was a time not too long ago when in the movies, superheroes and superheroes wore capes and masks. You see, they wore masks because they wanted to seal their identity. They didn't want the world to know who they were. They hid their secrets. Because chances are, however they got their superpowers, it was in some super freaky kind of way. They were either an alien from another planet, they got bit by a bat, or a spider got bit by a cat, had some atomic device in their chest that they needed to live. I'm just saying, freaky, the child of some fish or a celestial gods. So these sheroes and heroes hid behind the facade of a mask as they went about throughout the city and did whatever they did. But you know what? Now the secret is out. We now know that everybody who wears all the super heroes and superheroes do not wear a mask. So the secret is out and the mask comes off. Because we know that everybody has a little bit of super power inside of them. Yes, I'm talking to you. So what is your superpower? What is your superpose? I hope you're thinking about that. All that and more coming right up. Because today, I should say this. I know today when we talk about superpower and superpose, it's just talk about casually as, drinking a cup of water. Everybody's talking about my superpower, right? But we really believe that there's superpower inside of every one of us. And maybe that's because in recent years, we've been inundated with movies from Marvel and DC with superheroes and superheroes. So we see it in our eyesight all the time. And now everybody thinks so. But honestly, I believe that you too have a superpower. I don't know what that is, but we're going to discover that today. So on the show today, we're going to highlight, well, you know what I like? Let me say this before I talk about that. What I really like about the new uptrend in the new industry, right? I like that they're highlighting women more. Of course, there's still a lot of men heroes, but they're highlighting sheroes. You see more women on the screen doing their super thing and their superpower. So today on the show, we're going to highlight super shero Wonder Woman. I hope you like her. And our guest, Rosie Jensing, aka Wonder in Your Woman. She's coming to deep dive the concept of us having a wonder in our woman and how we can rediscover the power and the wonder in your woman. All that and more coming right up. Hello, everyone. My name is Paulette Rolle-Alesnik. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome. And my superpower is helping you create financial freedom through multiple streams of income. So I'm happy that you are joining us. In this space, we talk about personal finances. That is how to make extra money, how to create and develop multiple streams of income, and how to increase your wealth. Because we know if you're going to do your super hero thing, you need some money, right? So let's go. Before I introduce Rosie, though, I need you to do me a tiny super little favor. Two super duper little favor. First of all, invite someone to join you. And all you have to do is share. I think we're on Facebook and YouTube. So share the link, preferably YouTube, because anybody can get on there. And not just women your age. I'm talking older women, younger women, teenagers, and even kids, because kids know about these heroes and sheroes. And we want to introduce them to what Rosie's going to talk about. So please invite someone to join you on the live. And secondly, I want you to, in the comment below, let us know what is your superpower. Now you might say, I don't know what that is yet, but we hope that you will think about it and, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Put it in there. If you're allowed to put pictures, Let's put our superpose on there too. I don't even have a superpose, man. I don't know. I need to get a superpose. I got to think about that. I should have. But let me introduce to you. Oh, hold on. I need to make sure I see people on here. Say hello, say hello, say hello as you come in. Say hello. See, I try to do this right, but I don't always, for some reason, I don't see the comments when I'm by myself, right? So Rosie, when you come on, if you see the comments, don't let me miss them. All right. But come in, I see you coming in, guys. Thank you for joining me. It's another Thursday, and great things happen on Thursday. We're going to talk about Wonder Woman, rediscovering the wonder in your woman. What's your superpower? What's your superpower? What's your superpose? Power, your power position, repositioning yourself for success. Just some things, everything to do with your superness. So get ready to do that. And I'm going to bring our guests on right now. I'm super excited. This lady I've known for quite some time, and we've become friends, but I'm excited to have her on the show because she's doing her thing. She's doing her thing, and this is not new for her. It's not, the whole superhero thing is a fad for people. What's your superpose? What's your super powers? But Rosie has been doing this for a while. This is not a fad for her. So Rosie Jensing, you can see on the screen, right? She is a speaker, empowerment coach. She's an author, a content creator. But most importantly, she is the Wonder in Your Woman expert, y'all. If you want to know how to rediscover the wonder in your woman, this woman, she's the expert. She is the go-to source for helping women everywhere to find solutions for a more fulfilling life, to go beyond the challenges, the stumbling blocks, and inner conflict. Rosie is your girl. She's the go-to person for that. With a degree in education, Rosie embraces many roles: teacher, leader, mentor, coach, and most importantly, mom. She has two beautiful girls who are so wonderful. They're beautiful inside and out. And Rosie continues to live out her passion by supporting and guiding women through her coaching business to help them to walk to freedom in their lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Rosie Jensing to the show. Welcome, Woo! Rosie. Welcome.
Thank you. What an introduction, Paula.
You are that fabulous, because you're fabulous like that. I am so happy. I'm so happy you're here. How are you doing? I'll take my glasses off.
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be here. If I'm going to be on here with anyone, it is with you all day long. Like, the energy that you bring is amazing.
Oh, thank you. And I'm learning. I have my mask. I had to get out my this is not a superhero mask, but I had to get something out just for you.
Listen, I love it. A mask. It can be whatever you have. And I love that you work that in there.
The mask comes off, Rosie. This is live. You know what I'm saying?
It can be anything. It can be a mask. It can be boots. It can be glasses. It can be whatever it is that does it for you.
Ladies, you heard her. Whatever it is that just activates your superpower. For me, it's a purple and gold mask. But you know what, Rosie? I'm not going to hide behind the masks. And I know that there's power within. For years, it's always it's always been heroes, until somebody goes, what about the ladies? Because ladies, you and I both know, you guys have superpower on steroids. I'm just saying, you wake up in your superposition, you take care of children, you take care of husband, you go to work, you cook, you clean, you do it all, right? You're in the boardroom, you're in the bedroom, you're in the kitchen, you're in church. You are doing so much. So for that, we congratulate you, because that is a superpower. And if you're joining us today, I want to thank you just for showing up, because Rosie, I'm sure from me hearing her lately, she's going to drop some nuggets that I'm sure will propel you forward. Or here's a catcher, or she might take you backwards, but not to leave you there. I'm just saying,
you were listening.
I learned this lately. So Rosie might take you backwards, but she might take you backwards to visit that place where you left your little girl, where you took off the cape, where you took off the glasses, where you took off these masks, and you lost yourself. So wherever that place happened for you, Rosie might just tap it today. So get your Kleenex, get comfortable, invite a girlfriend, and not just your age, but invite the teenagers, invite your daughter. It's not too young. They're not too young to hear about this stuff because they're dealing at an earlier age with things that we didn't have to deal with, Rosie, right?
Absolutely. They're never too young. As a matter of fact, we need to start them young as to avoid having to go through this stuff with them later on. So you're absolutely right.
Exactly. So I'm happy you're tapping into that. So we're going to just jump right into it, and I'm going to have you lasso the truth out of us today. So one of the things that I've learned and I'm grateful for is that people don't buy what you and I sell. We can put it on a flyer, we can make it beautiful all day long, but they don't buy that. They buy why we sell, why we do what we do. What is it we're doing? So what's your why behind this? What's your why behind the whole movement?
That is absolutely correct, Paulette. I personally, as a consumer of so many things that are around us, that's absolutely correct. I don't really care what it is that you do. I care why it is that you do it, right? And I feel like it's such a loaded question, but if I were to answer that from the heart, why it is that I do what I do, I'd probably tell you, Paulette, that it has a lot to do for me in particular with purpose, right? So purpose is one of the most important things in life for me. I live my whole life on purpose. And I'd hate to kind of leave this world without accomplishing my God-given purpose on this earth. And, as such, I realized that connected to that purpose is my passion. If I don't have that passion is that fuel that's going to drive me to reach my purpose. And, I do what I do because there's so many women that are walking around these days and they are passionless. They don't see the wonder in themselves. Many times it's because of things that happened in their childhood or even as adults, right? Where they've lost their passion, where they've lost their wonder. It could be hurts, it could be hangups, it could be even bad decisions, because sometimes it's not something that life hands to us, but rather it's something that we actually partake in. And because of that, these women have settled for becoming a watered down version of the original design that they were supposed to be, right? That original design, each one of us comes here into this earth with a God-given purpose. And these women have decided, you know what, it's too late for me. My life is too complicated. I can no longer reach that dream. And I'll tell you what, my why is to work with these women, either through speaking or through coaching, and helping them realize that they can live a life of passion and of purpose, not just despite their hardships and challenges, but rather because of them, Paulette, because of them. Now, you know what? There is a saying that says that God doesn't waste a hurt. And I really believe that. You have a story, Paulette. I have a story. Every woman around us, those that are listening right now, everyone has a story. And those stories weren't meant for us to keep close to our chest, but they were meant for us to share with everyone so that others could learn from them. And through my speaking and through my empowerment coaching, I get to just partake just a little bit in the reframing of what that story sounds like for each person, so that they are not a victim in their own story, but rather a victor.
Oh, I love it. Ladies, you heard it. Listen, this woman is here on purpose. This is intentional. This is super intentional. And let me throw this in there because, my show is about personal finances, right? We talk about financial freedom. That's me. I'm the financial freedom queen, multiple stream of income queen. And you might say, well, what does me tapping into rediscovering the wonder in my woman has to do with money at all? I'll tell you what. When something is not right here, like Rosie said, if you're living as, what did you say, a half-baked, I'm going to rephrase it, but not the original. I'm sorry. That's how I got it in my head.
Listen, it works.
So if you're not living as the original version of yourself, it's affecting you. You're not living to your full potential. You're not going to level up financially the way you need to, number one. If you are stuck in hurt, if you are stuck in some things that Rosie will talk about, how are you going to go out there and work and do, even your mind, just your mind being free to how do I say, conceive, right? Ideas and creativity and innovation that has to do with making money. You're so preoccupied with the hurt. You're so preoccupied with what happened, right? So I'm saying all that because this has to do with money. Get that right. Get it right so you can get your money right. I've seen too many people stuck where they are, and because they're stuck, they can't get the house of their dreams, go to the school of their dreams, get their kids what they want. All right, we're going to do some liberation here. Rosie, how long have you been an entrepreneur? I know that you have a job, but you also have you're a speaker,
Yeah.
you have a coaching business. How long have you done that?
So Paulette, I feel like I'm one of those people that I call myself the idea queen, right? And as long as I can remember, I carry a journal in my purse. I have journals just kind of all over my house. I have it in my car, anywhere you can imagine. I'm
Right, right.
constantly jotting down ideas that I can monetize, right? And ideas that really sit with my heart. And so I think the very first time that it went from concept into something tangible for me was back in 2006. And I began just kind of on the side, just making jewelry. So I began to make these bracelets, and the tagline of these bracelets was jewelry with a purpose, right? So I've always been a little bit of a storyteller. And the purpose of the bracelets was so that you would wear the bracelet inspired by the story behind that particular bracelet.
Wow.
And I feel like that was probably the very first time where I discovered that I had a voice and that people were connecting, not so much with the design of the bracelet, because yeah, they were pretty, but with the story and where it was giving them some sort of hope and motivation. So these women were wearing this all the time and keeping the story that came with the bracelet because it was inspiring for them to continue and to move forward into their dreams. So I would say that that's when the whole entrepreneurial spirit kind of bit me.
What, that's wonderful. So just tell us now, how did you get to this place? Everybody don't know your story. We don't have time to talk about since you were born in Miami to get here. But what are just some pivotal key points that got you, Rosie little girl, to Rosie this woman who's now traveling the U.S. You just came from the West Coast. You were in Costa Rica,
California.
Ecuador. So
Yeah.
you're traveling and you're speaking, and so you found your voice. It started with a bracelet, which you gave me one time. You gave me a
Yeah.
bracelet. So you found your voice through wearing jewelry, right? And then
Yeah.
it came through your book, which we'll talk about. And then, of course, on your job, you're training people with certain, creating content. You're now a content creator and a speaker traveling America. So what got you here? What are some pivotal points?
I think, Paulette, pivotal points. When I am working coaching with someone, one of the very first things that I ask them in our discovery session is, are you doing what you love, and do you love what you do? And if they can't answer with a definitive yes, then that means there's some soul searching to do, and they need to just kind of, dig in there to see what it really is that they should be doing at this point in life. So I'm not putting anything out there that I haven't tried on myself. Everything that I put out there is because I've personally walked in. So I asked myself that question at one time. I personally am not a 9 to 5 girl, right? Some people are, and that's okay. But if you have other dreams, if you have other side hustles, one of the most important things is being honest with yourself and recognizing that maybe you're not satisfied with where you're at in position and even financially, and then taking the risk and going out and doing what it is that you're called to do.
That's wonderful. And how do you balance? So with the job, I know you still work full time, right?
Yes.
So you work a 40-hour job, you speak, you travel, you have your coaching business and clients, and of course you have your books, jewelry. How do you balance work, family, woman of God? How do you balance that? Give the women some tips on here, because we know you got to have balance if you want to be a superhero. Just saying. Don't be saving the world and forget your family. How do you balance it?
Paulette, I have 2 beautiful daughters that you happen to know personally, and they keep me busy. They are a handful. One is 19 and the other one is 15. I feel like one of the things that I do to balance that is being present. So when I am not working, or when I'm not working on content or not working on a video or something, it's being present in whatever it is that I'm doing with them, whether that's cooking or whether that's just going to the gym. A lot of conversation, having conversation with them and making sure that we connect and we touch base every day, as well as I feel like one of the things that I'm able to do now because of their age is merging both my professional as well as my family life. So basically what that means is, sometimes to speaking engagements that maybe take place on the weekend, I just kind of take them with me. Or even sometimes the ones that take place during the week, maybe they'll, play hooky one day from school and they come out and they help. And I feel like I am also at the same time inspiring them to see, like, if mom can do this, then I can do this and so much more too.
That's good. That's good. And the truth is, not that I am trying to get your children out of school, but oftentimes we learn more on those road trips, right? We learn more because you go to school for 12 years and for 8 years and then another 4, and still sometimes we don't get it. I didn't get it until after. We don't get it. But you can come to one session with a Rosie, aka Wonder in Your Woman, and you can learn. You understand? You can learn, like, I got superpowers. Whoa! Because what happens is you ignite the power within women. You have them read, and little girls. So I don't know if schools are doing this, but when I went to school, they didn't. They didn't even teach me how to write or balance a checkbook. Not much has changed, just saying. So they might play hooky from school, but they're going to be empowered to wherever you take them, because I know it's going to be good soil, good, a good seminar, whatever that is. Now your book. Well, let me take a break real quick and remind everybody. First of all, thank you for being on. Those of you that are here, I cannot for some reason see your comment. And Josh is texting me. I don't know if Josh is out there. Josh is texting me because I'm soloing today, Josh. And I can't see
okay, so I see a comment. I'm seeing it on my phone, and it says, I think the post needs to be made public. Right now, it's just being seen by Paulette's friends.
Oh, can you tell them to go to YouTube? If you go to YouTube, everybody can see it. That's Josh? Did Josh say that?
No, that's not Josh. That is Nestor.
Oh, Nestor. So Josh is just texting me, and I love this thing about live because I'm authentic, so is Rosie. What you see is what you get. That's right. At home, at work, it's just how we are, guys. We don't pretend. If my dog run up here right now, or somebody, listen, that's just who we are. So I'm gonna make it live. I'm gonna not make it live. What did he say? Share it?
He said that it's just being seen, I guess, by Paulette's friends, and it needs to be made public. There we go.
Maybe I don't want nobody other than my friends.
Have you ever thought of that, right?
I thought of that, Nestor, that we only want, I'm just kidding here.
We only want Paulette's friends to see it.
Edit privacy and public. Okay, public it is, and hopefully everybody can see it, everybody around the world. Maybe that's why Josh was texting me. So, he was calling me. Wonderful. So the break that I was taken before we got distracted was to remind everybody to connect with Rosie. I know you're on social media because you're watching this on some platform, but please, her website, rosiejensing.com. It's on the screen, correct? At Rosie Jensing on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. So connect with Rosie, please. Follow her on all the social media screen as well as YouTube, okay? And if you want to find me, it's at Paulette PRA, or just look for my name. I am not kidding you when I said I am truly the only. Oh, maybe that's my superpower. I am like the only Paulette Rolle-Alesnik anywhere. So please follow us. Yeah, I am the one and only princess with my superpowers. Okay, so Rosie, tell us about this book, Redefine in the Fire. That's just deep. And I know you wrote that back in 2018, correct?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, so that's it's actually called Refined in the Flame, and it's no, you're good. It's close enough. And Refined in the Flame is basically a book that's based off of a personal story of mine and my bouts with hypochondria, actually, and how I got over that. So yeah, you need to pick it up. It's a good book.
Oh yeah, that's deep right there. I was reading it. I haven't read it personally. I'm sorry, but it is like just being around Rosie and knowing the nuggets she drops whenever she speaks, and coming from such a pure, authentic place, helping people more. You know, like Kelly shared this morning or maybe yesterday, that quote from John Maxwell that communicating and helping people, it's really not about you, not about you. It's up getting out of the way and helping others. This is truly how Rosie is. She is not in the way. She's not about, oh, look at my superpower. She highlights this. She makes this her brand so that she can help you walk through what she's gone through. So in the movie, Diana says, I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. And I literally had to research. I had to go back and watch these movies, even though I've probably watched every superhero movie because I'm into fiction. I'm serious. Marvel, DC, I don't have a favorite. I love them all. I love superhero movies. I love fictional movies, sci-fi, just anything that sometimes just take my mind to entertainment, right? I love it. And she says, I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. To me, that's powerful, right? And in the 2000, that was the 2000, no, 1984. Is that the one I showed you?
Like way back in the day, yeah.
Right. I even watched that one, and she's dying. And then so she lassoed this guy who wanted all the power. And in the last moment before dying, she gave all of her strength to help the others. I love that. I love that. So when I watched that again, I thought, oh my God, I have to ask Rosie this question. What motivated you to make Wonder Woman your brand? And how long have you done this?
So Paulette, I think you actually remember this short story, but I feel like this whole fad for me with I was always a Wonder Woman fan from a little girl. We'll get that one straight. Like it was someone that I completely self-identified with. But in my more recent years, there was actually a costume contest that we had at work, right? And as such, I wanted to dress up as, you guessed it, Wonder Woman, right? And I was trying to piece this costume together because when I'm in something, I want to win it. And there was a day off at stake. So I had to win this contest. And I was trying to piece all the parts of this costume together. And when I was looking for the boots, I was having like a really hard time. I wanted some really authentic boots, something really cool, really beautiful, really fierce looking. And I kept on coming across all these like cheesy versions of Wonder Woman boots. And then when I found these one boots, the ones that I currently own, I just fell in love right away. And I knew that these were the winners. These were the one. And sure enough, I actually won the costume contest that day. And I think the reason that I was just so fond of these boots is because these boots were the wonder factor in the whole costume. They were the wonder factor, the it, right? The it factor. And I realized that we as women, we're not much different. We each have a wonder factor to us. And, for you, it might be, for someone, it might be playing the piano. And if that's what they can do, then that's their wonder factor, play the piano. For someone else, it might be baking. And if they can bake and that's your side hustle, then go ahead and bake, or for someone else, it might be doing a nail technician. And maybe it's just doing these really beautiful nails. And if that's what it is, then do that. But whatever you do, that's your wonder factor. And I think that for me, that's where it began. Seeing that there were so many women, again, around that had lost that passion for life and no longer felt like they had what it took in them to be able to reach their dreams. And that's where it all began.
Wonderful. And I do remember that competition. I don't think I dressed up because I couldn't compete with that. I'm just saying. I couldn't compete with Rosie and her boots and people parading around campus. Yes, she did all day. And her beautiful, like she went 1,000% out, y'all. 1,000% out. And I'm sure you can find it on one of her social media pages. Sure. If not, Rosie, you should post it just for fun. Warning, the girl looked hot. Like I'm telling you, the lady Gal who stars in the actual Wonder Woman had nothing on Rosie. Just saying, looks amazing in the costume. So we've been really surface for a while, and I kind of like to get people in before we scare them away, right? But this show really is about growth and change. I'm young still, just saying, but yes, I'm old enough to not play with my life and play with my days and my time, nor play with people who are not going anywhere. So I'm so like more passionate about connecting with people who are doing something, more intentional about being in this space of people who are just unapologetically just doing life, period, right? That's where I am. So this show is about change, and sometimes we have to just like deal with stuff that we don't want to deal with, talk about things that we don't want to talk about. So now we've talked about, oh, the costume, the boots, and the fad, and why you started. Let's go deeper. So in the second movie that I watched, this one line says, death, this is Diane saying, death is necessary. That's a deep line. That's just a cutting line right there. And when I listened to you, Rosie, when you did the speech last week at Get Unstuck, and listening to some other things that you posted, and I want you to recap some of the things that you've shared with us, where you said that you sometimes have to confront, you have to go back, you have to put to death, if necessary, some things in your past to get to this place and rediscover that wonder in your woman that you talk about that's been lying dormant for so long. Would you please elaborate on that? Because I find that fascinating. It's scary, because when you say death is necessary, it's like, whoa, but death of what? Can you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, absolutely, Paulette. So yeah, sometimes death is necessary. Going back to the Wonder Woman boots really quick, they are just a metaphor, if you will, for this mindset that we all need to adapt. That's how we regain our passion, by shifting our mindset. And, Paulette, you've seen the boots, and I know that you are a fan of shoes just as much as I am. And those boots are fierce. They're so tall, and they make you feel confident, and they make you feel secure. And you are the hottest girl in the room when you have those on, right? Well,
So
you can't possibly.
Hold on, Money
Right.
Trail. So you should give them to me. Just say.
I should. Or maybe I'll just buy you a pair. We'll wear them together.
I can pay. We'll be sisters
That's it.
and boots.
Well, you cannot possibly put on something so daring, because let's face it, Paulette, they really are daring and bold. It takes a special kind of someone to put something like that on, right? You can't possibly put on a pair of boots or a mindset like that without knowing and understanding that you're going to have to learn how to walk in those. They're really tall, they're really high. And part of learning how to walk in those is going backwards. So that ties in with the whole thing about, just settling the score on some things, just going back and making sure that some things are right. And I'm talking about mentally transporting yourselves to certain places, to situations that we've left behind like a long time ago. I'm talking those things that we don't want to remember because they just give us angst and cause a lot of pain when we remember. I'm talking about going back to those things, okay? And we do this not with the purpose of reliving that hard moment and of feeling the pain again, but our purpose in this is to go to the point of origin of every negative experience that has impacted our lives. And the only way that we can do that is by looking back. Okay. So there's this saying that says, something about like, life can only be lived forwards, but it can only be understood backwards. And sometimes in order to move forward, you have to look back. And then when we look back, we go to that place of hurt, whether it was something that happened to us, something that was done to us, a decision that we made, going to that place, because that's where we can measure where it was that we lost our passion. That's the place that we can measure where it was that we deviated from the original blueprint, that original design that we had. Only there can we see where it was that we deviated. And we have to go backwards in order to do that.
Definitely. Death is necessary. Yeah. I hope you ladies got that. Put that in the comment. We're bold, right? We're fabulous. We're all of that right now. And we're killing some things. So if you would put in a comment, even if I don't see it right now, death is necessary. And then list, if you're bold enough, list what it is you're killing. Just chop it up. Just kill it, burn it, lasso it, however you're going to kill it. Like Rosie said, you have to go back and revisit, because in order to go forward, you have to deal with some stuff, right?
Yeah.
I remembered, I won't say who told me this, but anyways, I remember, this is the whole house situation. When you move into a new house, that somebody once said to me when I was having somebody considering staying with me, it's a family member, so that's why I can't say it. They go, even if you move, like if you move into a new house, the old dirty habits come into the new house anyways, right? So
Yeah,
it's not like if they're still nasty and they're still dirty when they move to the new house, it doesn't mean they're going to change because, oh my God, you have a fabulous house, you have a new house. The habits will come. So you
correct.
have to fix the habit first. You have to either rehab it or kill it, however you do that, and then, right? And then move forward.
And then move.
I would like for you guys to take out your pens and your papers if you haven't already done so, because Rosie will give us some step-by-step tools right now to rediscover the wonder in our woman. I love this quote by Wayne Dyer. Sometimes I mess up the reading and I just say things in my head, so you can Google him. Wayne Dyer. He said, there is a grand lie, right? Just the lie is so big, it's grand, that we are limited. The only limits we have are the ones that we believe. And that is so true. That is so true. I believe, Rosie, so many women and men that are on this live tonight have believed the lies that they're limited. What is she talking about but rediscovering the wonder in your woman? I never had it. I never tapped into it, Rosie. I'm still, I'm here. I'm still here. Wherever it is, I am. So would you please give us some steps how women can move from where they are, or actually rediscover, because you said they were born with it. They were born with it, and then life happened. Life happens, and then whatever. So would you give us some steps, please, so that we can rediscover the wonder in your woman? Because at the end of the day, it affects my brand, which is finances. Making,
Correct.
you becoming financially free, or you would be somebody with money, you would be a hot mess, because money only makes you more of who you are. And if you're a messed up person, God forbid that you're a messed up person that's out there in the world with money to burn. So help us out.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I'm going to give you some strategic steps and then some practical steps. But before that, the very first thing I want to leave you with is 3 don'ts. Okay. So don't compare, don't compete, and do not try to outdo. Okay. So you are your own person running your own race. And one of the biggest mistakes that we can do is to sit there and compare ourselves to somebody else and their timeline and wondering, why they are in a place that we're not, or why they're ahead of us, or I've been doing this a little bit longer. Why does my life look like this? So we'll die with the whys. So it's better not to do that. There's no competing, there's no comparing, and there's no outdoing. We're not here trying to outdo each other. But once you've got that down packed, I'm going to give you some practical steps first. So the first practical step is your support group. Who is your support group? So I'm going to get I know there's a guy on this call, bear with me, but when I think of the Wonder Woman costume, right? I mean, her upper part here looks pretty fabulous, right? She's got this strapless thing, and her boobs are nice and high because she's got the right support. Ladies, we need the right support. Who's around you? What are they inputting into your life? They say, I don't know what the statistic is, but whoever the 3 people that you most hang around with, or maybe it's 5 people, that's who you're going to be like. Well, then 5, there we go. So then you really need to analyze, who are you hanging around? And that leads to the next one, which is you need to cut off the dead weight. Okay. So if this is a very holistic approach, there's a very holistic approach to the one that I speak of. And let me tell you that if you do not have the right support system at home and in your relationships, you're only going to get so far. So sometimes it's necessary to go in, it's necessary to cut off the dead weight. And I know that that's easier said than done. Some of you are going to have to do a lot of thinking as it pertains to this, but cutting off the dead weight. Then mentorship. Ladies, mentorship is so important. I'm not a fan of the word self-care, but that word also implies that mentorship is kind of packed in there as well. who is informing you? There's other ladies that have gone ahead of you and they've already walked the path that you're trying to walk. So investing in yourself, taking a little time for self-care so that you can connect with women like this that are able to not do it for you, because that's not what a coach does essentially, but they're going to sit there and make you accountable for the plan that you both develop in order to make sure that you're staying on track. So mentorship is another one. And then writing out the vision. That's my other practical step, writing out your vision. Ladies, you know, I know Paulette does this, and I know that I do this myself. I create a vision board at the beginning of the year. I also, like I said, I'm a journal queen, and I have journals kind of lying all around, and I've got the plan for maybe the next 6 months, a plan for the next year, whatever that looks like, but writing down the vision, because you're accountable to yourself when it's written down. So those are my practical steps. And now strategically, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to just kind of review what I just said. Backtracking is number one, ladies, right? So if you're going to put on those boots, if you're going to put on that very daring mindset, if you're going to decide that it's time for change, if you're going to decide, you know what, I've had enough of this 9-to-5 job. I've had enough of my finances not looking the way they need to look like. I want to change in my life. So then you're putting on a daring pair of boots, but you're going to have to deal, again, in that very holistic approach, you're going to have to deal with some stuff that's behind you in order to move forward, because it's going to free you to do that. So backtracking and going to those old places, settling the score, making sure that everything is right in order to move forward. Now, the second one would be ownership. Ownership, ladies. Now, get this. You know, we all have the one thing, the two things. For some of us, it's more than one or two things that we just want to keep in the closet, and we want to just kind of hush away, and we want to sweep under the rug and never acknowledge that they ever existed. Well, I have to tell you something, ladies. The only way to freedom is by owning those things. So ownership. Own everything. Own the ugly things, those things that you felt shame about, all those things. Consider them part of your life resume, okay? Because true transformation happens when we own all of our junk. Now, I know that a lot of us don't want to hear that sometimes, because it's easy to place blame on others, but a lot of times it begins with us. We have to own our part in order to be able to move forward. And then lastly, ladies, calibrating. Okay. So, you know, one of the things that I really reference when I'm talking about that Wonder Woman costume is that designer, the designer of the original Wonder Woman costume, when they put that costume together, I mean, this was for an epic show, and then later on for a movie, and they had to make sure that it looked accurate, that Wonder Woman that she looked the part, that she smelled the part, that she was the part, everything, right? So when we calibrate ourselves, we're basically measuring ourselves against the standard of what we were originally supposed to be. Now think back, ladies, to that place when you all were young, those dreams that you had, you know, that vision of who you wanted to be in life. That is what I'm talking about. Calibrate yourself to that. And that's not to say that over the years, you know, our dreams and our visions don't change, but go back to whatever your heart's desire was. And if you are not living out your heart's desire, then you're going to need to calibrate it. You're going to need to come in tune with that element of wonder that's already in you. Because remember, ladies, you know, I'm a believing woman, and I have to tell you that God, in giving us each individual purpose, He also gave you a share of wonder that's particular to that purpose, so that you can be able to carry that out. So those are my nuggets for today.
Wonderful. Wow. That's a lot in a short space of time. So ladies and men on the chat, please go ahead and put in the chat some takeaway that Rosie just spilled about. She went fast. Obviously, we just have 1 hour, but you can always listen to this on a replay. Please share with someone. If something resonates with you, that's where you grab it. But if you think of somebody else, please share it. I think now I made it shareable on Facebook, which I do apologize, everyone.
Woo-hoo!
YouTube, share it. It's a platform that can go anywhere in the world. Thank you for that, Rosie.
Yeah.
I love the whole talking about calibration, right? That's just amazing, measuring up to yourself. I wonder who designed that costume. You got my mind thinking now.
We're gonna have
Google who designed, because it is right. It is like she is supported. She runs, she skips, she swoops. right? She's
Everything.
swinging around the pole, and everything stays in place.
It sure does.
And when she slides and swoop guys off their feet, like she gets up and things are in place because women
It's
will
in place.
understand. Women understand this. You have to have the proper under support, right?
Yes, you do. All the time. Some
Yes.
spank, a good supportive bra.
I'm just saying, guys, you're gonna hear some things, but y'all know y'all old enough because you have wives and girlfriends and daughters. So yeah. It's in place. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
You might not have gotten it all, but do me a favor, always to replay. Always. This is on replay on YouTube, on Facebook. If you're not my Facebook friend, you can find me on YouTube. Please connect with Rosie. Her information is on the screen. You can find her at rosiejensing.com or at Rosie Jensing anywhere on social media. Yes. You can find her book on Amazon, on Lulu. You can find it. Just reach out to her. Please get a copy of your book when you're ready to, dive into that. The book kind of blew me away just reading about it. I want to talk a little bit about finances now, just because I connect everything to finances. I believe that money touches every part of our lives. So Rosie, before you go away, if you would leave with us just one tip, like how can we move towards financial freedom? It's something that you have done or something that you like to do. One tip that we can do to move towards financial freedom, please.
Yeah, sure, Paulette. So, for me, you've probably heard this a million times, but I kind of live by this, okay? Time is money. For me,
yes, sir.
Time is money. As a matter of fact, my mantra is, you've probably heard it before, and that is, in order to live like nobody else, you've got to live like nobody else. So what are you doing with your time? Because at the end of the day, your time is going to affect your finances. Yes. So for me, there's no such thing for me personally. And don't get me wrong, I can appreciate a good Netflix and chill day just like the next person, but that's not the majority of my time. That is certainly not the majority of my time. Usually when I have some free time, when I get home from work or on the weekends, I'm working on projects, I'm working on content, I'm working on videos, because that's my thing. But what are you doing with your time? Because at the end of the day, what you're doing with your time is going to affect, do you want to be in the same place a year from now, or do you want to be financially free? Now, let's just say, for example, your thing is baking cookies, right? And you may think, oh, but Rosie, I can bake cookies, but I'm not going to become financially free. Well, then you're not dreaming big enough. You're not dreaming big enough, because you absolutely could become financially free baking cookies. You just have to write down the vision and make that vision larger and bigger than anything that you know how. And if you don't know how to do it, then you need to find somebody who will coach you through the process and help you get there. But yes, time is money at the end of the day. And if you are wasting your time, or you're wasting your time away, then you're leaving money on the table.
Exactly. You guys got that? You wrote it down, put it in the chat. Time is money. Time is money. Time is more valuable than money, but we need money. Yeah, just saying. Sure. Thank you for that tip, because I always would like our viewers, whether they're live or on the replay, to hear one financial tip so they can move towards financial freedom. Because here, we are so into financial freedom, y'all. I do it through teaching you through multiple streams of income. Right? I'm going to put my information on the screen right now. Rosie does it differently than I do, but we all have a method. The point is, we're doing something with our lives. We're not getting Netflix rich. I guess we are, because we are paying, but we're not spending all our time watching, we're not spending
just a small amount.
Right, watching Netflix. And guys, listen, COVID-19 is behind us some, so we can go out, do things, and get away from Netflix and all that stuff. So I appreciate that, because, they can be making money. I have this goal. Well, it's not a goal, but when I was with an organization years ago, like way long time ago, I was young. My mentor at the time would ask me, what did you do today towards making money? Like one thing on your list.
That's good.
Towards making money. Because I would do a lot of administrative stuff. I would do a lot of maybe what I thought was marketing. And when we had the meetings every night for 90 days, she would say, give me one thing, tell me one thing that you did towards making money today, whether you got the money today or you got it tomorrow or it was in your funnel. I never forgot that principle. That's the word I was looking for.
That's
I don't have
principle, yeah.
I don't have my Beyonce fan on, so sometimes I forget stuff. So that's a principle. That's the word I was looking for. That's a principle that I practice every single day, unless I'm just resting and it's my Sabbath and I'm not doing anything. The other days, I think about one thing. If it's sending out a text or email or group email or doing something on social media, that would lead me towards finances, because I might get that money might show up in my bank account or my PayPal 6 months from now, but I'm planting the seed. So Rosie said time is equal money. So put in the chat, what are you going to do with your time that will lead you towards financial freedom?
And you know what, Paulette, I'm just going to add really quick. That's a great principle to live by, the one that you just mentioned, because so many times we're quick to dedicate ourselves and to work a 9-to-5 job where we're making somebody else rich, but we don't have it in us to spend that same amount of time to do our own thing in order to make us rich, right?
Right. And you work for 40 years and you get a gold watch, is what they say. I say, go buy your gold watch. Go buy your gold watch. You work for yourself. Probably after 2 or 3 years, you can afford your gold watch and everything else you desire.
Yes, you can.
And save yourself, 37 years of your life.
That's it.
Hustling through the cold and the traffic and the stress or the heat wherever you live. Just
you can buy the gold watch and sit somewhere on the beach in Jamaica.
Oh, don't talk about Jamaica. That's my next destination. And still make money. And still
make money.
While you sleep, while you beach, while you drink your wine or your coffee or tea, whatever you drink. Think that way. Like she said, time equals money. So Rosie gave you a good nugget today. I hope that you caught it. I hope you got it. So Wonder New Woman, I have told them, but let me just remind everybody that you speak, but you have a coaching program. So somebody might be on here. I want you to tell them a little bit about this, because people hear coaching and they're like, oh, she's a coach. I don't want to be Wonder Woman. Oh, you know what I mean? So tell us about your coaching service, because I'm like, I believe in mentorship. If you don't know how to paint your nails, you get a mentor to teach you, somebody who's been there, done that. They can pull you to that place. Tell us a little bit about what you offer as far as helping these women get beyond the pain point that you mentioned when you gave us those tips, please.
Yeah, absolutely, Paulette. So yes, coaching is very big for me too, just like it is for Paulette. We believe in surrounding ourselves with mentors that, again, have already walked the walk that we want to walk, right? So why reinvent the wheel and do it the hard way? And investing in yourself is just a really big thing. So I would like to offer my services to you. I do speaking, just like Paulette mentioned, but I do personal coaching. And you can find a breakdown of what I have in my website, but basically I can do I offer a discovery session to anybody. And that's basically a 30-minute session where we can talk at first and just kind of connect and see if we're a good fit. And if we are a good fit and we both want to continue from both ends on that, then you have the option. If it's just something that you're trying to kind of just troubleshoot quick, sometimes you just need advice on something very in particular. And I have what's called my 2-hour power session. And we can certainly sit down and talk throughout that 2-hour power session. It's a great gift for somebody else too. Just saying, Mother's Day is coming. And if you need a little bit more long-term support and long-term direction, then I am here for that as well. And just, again, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm not here to tell you what to do. I am here to help you devise a plan and then work with you and make you accountable along the way, just to make sure that you're staying on track. That's my job.
Well, ladies, you want to connect with Rosie. She's really authentic. Really, Rosie, let's speak to our Latino sisters and brothers on the phone really quickly. I know they understand English, but on the replay, somebody's going to say, this is what Rosie says. This is what Rosie said. I was watching the live. I want you to be a part of this. Why don't you speak with them in your own voice so that they can hear just this part if they want to connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, in Spanish, excuse me.
Yeah, your
Yes.
people, your people.
Para todas las mujeres que están escuchando hoy, yo les ofrezco mis servicios de coaching. Podemos conectarnos por 2 horas si es que quieren dirección en algún proyecto que estén trabajando, pero también tengo sesiones para ofrecerles a lo largo, al tiempo de 3 meses o 6 meses también. Así que los invito, si ustedes están en una posición que quieren avanzar en sus proyectos, a que se conecten conmigo para que podamos juntos formalizar un plan y para que ustedes puedan lograr todo lo que están esperando de sacar en la vida.
Sí, whatever she said.
Put me on the spot like that, Paula.
Listen, so I just feel that somebody might try to repeat to someone what you offer, and it's nothing like hearing it from you directly.
Of course.
So they can connect with you. You know, after all, you speak the language. I love it. Now let's talk about your inspiration. We're going to wrap up. We have just about 5 minutes to wrap up. I always say, I hear this phrase from Maya Angelou: we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. And I repeat this often. You know, you and I didn't just get here, right? My people are from the West Indies, and before that, you know, Africa, and who knows where before that. And your people are from Puerto Rico, Cuba, Miami.
You're Cuban and Honduran.
Honduran, oh God, forgive me. And that's how much I love my Puerto Rican friends.
Trying to squeeze it in there.
Right? Forgive me. I knew that, people. So, but we stand on the shoulders of the women who've gone before us. And man, so I want to know, they have inspired my family, and people have inspired me, and you inspire so many people around the world. Who are your greatest inspiration?
So my greatest inspiration comes from God personally, right? I make sure to have my time with him every day. That's where I refuel. I realize that I pour out a lot on a daily basis, whether it's speaking or whether it's coaching or whether it's just in conversation with friends. I pour out a lot, and I can't pour out from an empty cup. So I make sure to get my direction and my inspiration primarily from him. But, you know, I'm also a believer that you never stop learning. At least I don't, right? So I'm constantly reading or listening to podcasts. And then I go back to what I mentioned earlier, and that's who I surround myself with, right? So when I need expert guidance, I always go to those women that have done it before. And if it's something personal, that can involve, you know, going to my mom or going to my sister. And then when it's something professional, that can even involve going to people like you, Paulette, and the wonderful women that I now have that surround me that are my support system.
Wonderful, wonderful. The reason I like to end with this question, ladies, is because it's so important for us to remember who've inspired us. And if you don't have that in your life, because some people might say, I hear what you're saying, Paulette. I hear what you're saying, Rosie. I want to be that woman. I really do. But I don't have the support system, and I don't have anybody who inspires me at this moment. Well, I want you to know, if you don't have blood inspiration and blood family, we want to be your family. Right? We want to connect with you. And it's not just about us coaching you. It's not just about us, whatever. It's not business. We're here to support women. That's what we do. We support women no matter what. It's just, you spend hours on the phone or hours on DM talking to women all across the world because we want to support and empower women. So connect with us on social media. Yeah, blow up our boxes, because if you need that for that moment, we'll give it to you. I'm not saying we're going to give it to you forever. You just need to know. Rosie might not tell you, but I will cut you off after a while. So, but we're here. We would offer you the time to hear you, to see you, and let you know that you have somebody who will support you. And if we feel that the conversation leads to you needing a mentor or coach, then we'll lead you in that direction. But sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. You just need inspiration. We're here for you. Also connect with us on, there's something that Rosie and myself and a few other women just started. Is it on the screen, Rosie? Get unstuck.
It is not. It is not on the screen. Nope.
So I will tell them about it. So it's not on the screen because I want to shout out to our upcoming guest, Miss Christine Tyler. She was actually a student of mine back in the day. So when you see her, don't try to tell me I'm old. I was just a teacher at a very young age, period. You know, because when these kids announce that they're like 30, I'm like, what? Are you serious? So anyways, there you go. So Rosie and I and a few other ladies have started, Kelly, Kate, Sarah, bringing more women on board, a support network called Get Unstuck Seminar. I almost said franchise, no joke. So when things, no joke, it almost said Get Unstuck franchise. Things come to me, and I know it's the Holy Spirit when I say certain things, but we want to be there for you. So go to social media. If you find me, if you find Rosie, you'll see we just had an event, Get Unstuck. Get on that page, join that page, because there are going to be things coming up at no cost to you that will help inspire you, mentor you, motivate you to get to the places she's talking about. You can't do it alone. And if you don't have the sister, if you don't have the church support, if you don't, we're here for you. We're saying right now, live, that's recorded, we want to be there for you. We want to be a tribe. We want to be your community. We want to be your social media family to help you get to that place, if that makes sense. So please shout out in the chat and say, hey, I joined the group. It's just, Rosie's just Get Unstuck, right? On Facebook?
Get Unstuck. It's Get Unstuck on Facebook, yeah.
So Get Unstuck. And I promise if you find myself at Paulette PRA, you find Rosie at Rosie Jensing, you'll find the event, okay?
Yes.
Please connect with us there. And that platform is at no cost. We're gonna begin to continue to just put content that would help you. And we're working on a masterclass that would help you move forward. Not just us, but other women we're bringing on board, you know, women that are in the medical field. Hopefully, if it works out in the legal field, just connect. I'm just saying, stay connected because it's for our benefit. We're working on the next seminar for this summer. Things are moving forward like fast. And you know why? Because it's all about you. You actually, with the text, Rosie will tell you the text and the feedback that we've gotten, you guys told us, we want more. We want to stay connected. So thank you for trusting us, number one, for believing in us and supporting us, because we want to support you back. Rosie, any closing words on that?
No, I think you said it all. Just everyone be on the lookout for the next, the Get Unstuck event date, which will be released soon. And yeah, lots of exciting things to come. And we can't wait to connect with you on a deeper level soon, hopefully.
Definitely. So we're just like 2 minutes over 1 hour. Thank you guys for joining me. You are amazing. Thank you, Rosie, for just spending time on this topic. Just wandering your woman, for deep diving, for being the expert, because there's so much. When I rewatch the movies, like I had such fun research. You're like, you were the fun guest, because I'm like, oh, my research is watching a movie, you know, versus some other things that I had to read. But thank you for helping us nurture that power and getting the network. And most importantly, moving us forward from these places, from fear, being stuck, and all the stuff you talk about. Thank you for being a great guest.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's always so much fun. It's not even like a guest. It's like family with you. So
I know, they're like family. Oh, now we need Sky and Rain.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell her story of how I saw her superpower. Like, I think the second time I met her.
Oh,
remember?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, oh, that's her superpower. Just love her. Like, I fell in love with her right away. I'm like, Rosie, did you see your daughter and what she did? I love that child. But thank you, ladies. We're here for you. Connect with us, and I hope to see you next week, Thursday. Again, we start at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes.
Please share this, because it's on a replay. Share it with somebody. Rosie and your family, thank you for being a part of this wonderful thing that we're doing on social media. Blessings. Bye now.
Bye.